You can listen to this practice wherever it is that you find yourself today. You can be sitting down or laying down or even stretching and doing things if that's what you got to do. And hopefully wherever you're at when you listen, this will still be helpful to you in some way. So if you would like to listen to this in a still position, you can feel free to take all the time you need to arrive there. Just allow yourself to fidget and adjust or stretch or move in whatever ways feels good in your bones, muscles, and joints. And maybe even closing the eyes and doing your best to not think about the movements or think about what they look like, but just letting your body move you in the ways that intuitively feel good. And following those yummy sensations you get when you stretch in certain ways. So there is no rush whatsoever. You can continue to move for as long as you need to. And even throughout this practice, you can move throughout it whenever you feel the need. You're not ruining anything if you do that. But if you are feeling ready and would like to listen to this in a still position, you can make your way there if you aren't there already. Morning, Grace and Nicole. Just feeling that the spine is nice and straight in whatever position you've chosen. And just checking in with that space in between your sit bones and tracing it all the way up through like the throat, the nose, and the crown of the head. So just feeling that center line of your body line up. And if you're in a space where you feel safe and would like to, you can allow the eyes to gently close at any time if they aren't already. And now marking your arrival into your practice today, into your body today, with a full, deep, and intentional cleansing breath. Taking a long, slow inhale in through the nose and watching yourself fill up slowly to every corner and edge of you as you just hold it for a moment once you're full, to really feel what that feels like right now, to be full of air. And without straining as you need to, slowly let all of that go. Exhaling bit by bit. And gently pulling the navel toward the spine at the bottom of your exhale to really push that last bit of stagnant air out of you. As you again pause for a moment to experience what that feels like, this emptiness. And allow your next breath to come to you as it is needed. And so you can continue to breathe just like this for as many rounds as feels good and helpful for you. And just not worrying about the length of your inhales, exhales, and pauses on either side. But just letting them be exaggerated, whatever that means for you right now. Not exaggerated for how it was or how your breath was the last time you practiced this, but right now. So as your body is inhaling and you feel that natural stop of your inhale, seeing if you can open yourself up a little bit more to just take in a moment more of air. And when you naturally feel like you roll over to the exhale, seeing if you can hold off for just one more moment to pause a bit more intentionally in that full space. And then as you exhale, when you feel like you are empty, seeing if you can just push a little bit more air out of you. And again with the pause, holding off on your inhale for one more moment than what feels like your natural reaction. So we are consciously, intentionally slowing down the process of our breath, and therefore communicating to our nervous system that now is a time for us to slow down. And if you're in a mental zone right now where you feel maybe a little depleted or like you need more energy within you, you can focus a bit more intentionally on your inhales and really let them be as long and as slow as possible. Maybe even envisioning some uplifting and helpful energy coming into the body as you inhale, feeling that settle within you as you pause, and just solidifying there as you exhale. And then if you are in a mental zone right now where you feel like there's too much within you and you feel maybe more ramped up or more on the anxious side of things, you can focus a bit more intentionally on the exhales. And you can still maybe imagine some helpful energy coming into you as you inhale. But now as you exhale, envision anything that you no longer need leaving you. And maybe that looks like a dark smoke or some sort of visualization to the air that is leaving your body. And just reminding yourself that you do not need to hold on to anything that feels too heavy. And anything you let go of right now is just what you let go of right now. And you can always return to things at another time. But just choosing for the next 30 minutes or so that this is a time for you to let go of your burdens, to come back to yourself and who you are beneath all of these burdens that life puts on us. Which does not mean that you ignore them, erase them, forget about them. It just means that you are shifting your attention to be on what is here in this moment right now. Physically, but also emotionally, mentally, spiritually. And approaching these things from the viewpoint of the observer or the witness. And if you haven't already, you can release all guidance over your breath and come into that role of the observer or the witness. Maybe even feeling like you step back and up in your mind into that perspective where you are simply watching your body breathe you, rather than having any direct control over the rhythm or the length of your breath. But reminding yourself how the breath is our one bodily function that can be either voluntary or automatic. So giving up the voluntary guidance we had over the breath and observing the automatic process that is your body breathing. The same way your body breathes when you are in a deep sleep, without any of your direction or doing. Your body breathes and functions perfectly to keep you alive every moment of every day, without any of your doing. Just like any other force of nature out there in the world. Practicing seeing yourself and all of your body's natural functions as other forces of nature, because that is what they are. So just as you would watch waves rolling up along the shoreline if you're laying on the beach, watching your breath come and go. Watching your own heartbeat. Maybe even watching the process of your digestion, if that is sticking out to you. Just reminding yourself of all of the work your body is constantly doing for you to keep you alive every single moment of your life up to this point. And allowing yourself to exhale and release into that gift. And starting to let your awareness rest more so on your face. And even with your eyes closed, just noticing or making a note of any expression that is resting on your face. Making note of any emotions that could be communicated by this resting expression. And again, from that point of awareness of where we are at, that is where you need to be to instead allow yourself to soften and release. To choose to release the tension in your jaw. We cannot change what we don't first notice. So first noticing if there's any tension in the jaw. And then choosing to consciously soften this area. Allowing the tongue to release from the roof of the mouth. Allowing your lips to rest gently on one another. And feeling how this softness in the mouth and in the lips will naturally help to soften any tension in your chin, as well as in the nostrils. Softening some more tension that could be in your cheeks, in the ears, and even in the eyelids, all of those tiny muscles along your lash lines that scrunch up when you squint, even feeling those soften. So as the corners of your eyes get a little bit wider, simply with this release. Your eyelids just gently resting on one another, on your eyeballs, as you just soften your gaze. Even if the eyes are open, just softening the gaze so that you can see everything and not one specific thing. And same with the eyes closed. Exploring your whole range of vision. Whether you are looking at the environment around you or at the backs of the eyelids, or maybe peering up into the forehead. Or maybe the eyes are rolled back even further and peering into the skull. Wherever your eyes are looking, just noticing what it is that you see. Even if it is just darkness or a few light bubbles here and there. Just allowing your sense of sight to ground you into this moment. Remembering that whatever it is you are seeing right now exists in this moment. And just allowing your hairline to soften back so that you feel your forehead becoming a bit wider and deeper. Relaxing your brow bone or the eyebrows. And maybe even feeling your brain resting into that support of your skull. Allowing all of that release to naturally trickle down the whole scalp, down the sides and the back of the neck. And just feeling your shoulders become a little heavier as your hands become even more soft, allowing for any natural curving of the fingers. As you just trace that space internally between your hands and your heart. With your hands totally soft, maybe you're able to tune into that pulse that exists in both hands. And just syncing your awareness up with the rhythm of this pulse as you remember your own anatomy and internally trace that space with your awareness from the pulse within your hands, through the veins and vessels, up the arms, through the shoulders, into your heart. As you remember the innate connection between your hands and your heart, physically and energetically. Allowing yourself to maybe feel comforted and able to soften a little bit more into this steady rhythm that is your heartbeat. Your own personal background beat to every single moment of your life. Letting this beat be another anchor for you to stay in this moment with what is happening right now. Your heart will only ever be beating. You will only ever be able to observe and listen to your own beating heart in this moment. All the sounds you are hearing along with your beating heart are more anchors to this moment. So even if you are in an environment right now that feels maybe distracting or noisy, or sounds that you might first label as annoying, you can just practice the same way we did with our sight, just almost blurring your vision, softening the gaze. Doing that same thing with your ears and your sense of sound. Practicing hearing every sound that is around you as just a part of your soundscape, your own personal soundscape. Remembering that there is not one other person out there who is hearing exactly what it is you are hearing right now. The unique mixture of your external environment along with your internal environment. The unique way that your ears are shaped and how sound enters them in a unique way. How your awareness and what you choose to tune into more than other things. Maybe practicing hearing the different layers of sounds. Seeing what you can tune into that is furthest away from your body. And jumping to what you can tune into that is closest to the body. And all of those layers in between. Even if you are in a very quiet space, hearing maybe the hum of the lights. Maybe a distant sound of traffic in the far distance, or birds outside your window. Just any sound at all that you are hearing. Letting your awareness be drawn to where it naturally feels drawn, and listening there until the awareness is drawn to another sound. And just allowing yourself to naturally jump from sound to sound, focusing in on whatever you feel drawn to. And gradually letting more and more of your awareness come back into your heart. And you can do this by first continuing to listen to the sounds around you, and then noticing maybe a sensation of a heartbeat in your ears as you listen. And just with your awareness, following the space from the ears the moment sound enters, and following it as it travels through the inner ears and it meets together at the space between the inner ears, at the very center of the skull. Maybe feeling a sensation of a pulse here as the muscles of your face soften even more. And following that pulse from the center of the skull down through the throat as it connects back to your heart. Feeling that innate connection now between your head and your heart. Reminding yourself how all of the love and life that is constantly being pumped into your body through your heart is connected to your hands and to your head. And your hands have the ability to create and to heal with this love and life. Your mouth has the ability to speak words inspired by this love and life. You have the power to hear things through this loving lens, as well as see things from this perspective. And you also have the power to think, to view your own thoughts through this lens of love. And now allowing your body to soften a little bit deeper into the surface that is supporting you. Letting yourself be as heavy as you are. Feeling the support of the earth beneath you and the support of gravity all around you. Maybe starting to notice the sensation of a pulse in the space between the sit bones, at the root of your spine. As you just remind yourself of the deep safety that you possess, and how ultimately all of us are safe in our bodies, in this world. Our souls are safe. They will return to wherever it is they've come from when our bodies are done and return to this earth. We all possess a deep, ultimate sense of safety. And at the same time that this safety exists and is there within all of us, there can oftentimes be many layers of fear stacked on top. So sometimes it's really difficult to feel this safety, or maybe impossible altogether for the moment. But you can rest in knowing that there is nothing you can do that will take this ultimate safety away from you. Our souls will always return to wherever it is they've come from, to that source of love and life. And our bodies will return to the earth. And at the same time, there may very well be things in your life, maybe people or situations or circumstances, that impede on your safety, maybe make you feel unsafe. And maybe you deal with constant fear because of your life circumstances. It could even be just the fear of your own body, if you have any chronic illnesses or autoimmune diseases. And we're not ignoring these fears when we feel this deep sense of safety. We're simply reminding ourselves that this safety is real, and it is here even when we don't feel like it. And at the same time, observing the layers on top, and making note of any things that you have the ability to control in some way. If there's circumstances that you have a voice in or a choice, you can let those seeds be planted and be so patient and kind with yourself, remembering that there will always be a period of time between when we recognize we need to make a change and when we actually have the strength, the power, and the resources to make those changes. So allow yourself to be wherever you are in the process of change. And just trust that with small actions, daily actions, that support our best interest, our love, and our life, over time, these small actions will curate a life for you that feels better. It feels more safe. And there will most likely always be some layers of fear on top of this safety. And our goal is not to erase all fear and only feel safe and joy all the time. Our goal is to simply be present with whatever it is we're feeling, whether that is awful or fantastic. It will most likely be a mixture of everything. And so just letting seeds of change be planted within you, so that you might feel a tiny bit more confidence to act in the ways that support you in your life in the future. Knowing that that is the least selfish thing you can do, And that is actually medicine for the world around you, the people around you, as it inspires others to do the same for themselves. And I believe that is one of the greatest ways we can be of service in this world that is hurting so much. Is by treating ourselves with deep patience and kindness and love. Learning how to sit with ourselves in discomfort, in the pain that we will all inevitably experience. By being fully present with your process of suffering and healing. That alone allows you to hold more of that space for others around you. And it will naturally inspire others to do the same. And the ripple will continue throughout the whole world, hopefully. So just continue to soften your body beneath whatever it is you are feeling. Allow yourself to be exactly as you are right now. As you just listen to the following words written by young Pueblo in his book, Clarity and Connection. And just allow anything that feels like it resonates with you to soak in a little bit deeper and not worrying about the rest. Check in with yourself occasionally by asking these 3 questions. Is this the direction I want to be moving in? Are my recent choices helping my happiness? And what can I change to better support my goals? Practice the strengths of earth. Have a giving nature. Be grounded in your purpose and hold firm in times of turbulence. Cultivate the qualities of water. Move through life with gentleness. Have access to your power at all times. Flexibility and persistence increase success. Embody the teachings of fire. Transmute what you experience into light. Be strong enough to have clear boundaries. And have an awareness of when you need more fuel. Internalize the values of air. Release your expectations. Embrace the constant movement of change. And know that seeing is not everything. Feeling is essential. Emotional maturity is knowing the difference between your true needs and temporary cravings. Your needs help you live at an optimal level and support your happiness. Cravings are a reflection of your agitation and attachments that leave you dissatisfied and wanting more. Overcomplicating your healing is something to watch out for. You do not need to overthink your past and repeatedly reimagine each trauma. Self-awareness has more to do with the present moment. If you can see yourself clearly now, you are more likely to act wisely. The best way to access and heal your past is by not running away from yourself in the present moment. One of the hardest skills to master is saying no to yourself so that you can rise up and unfold into a greater you. No to distractions or lack of consistency. No to the patterns and ways of being that only lead back into the past. No to only doing what is easy. And no to doubt and fear. And so you can just take the next few moments to allow every word you've heard today to settle. And just trust that anything you've heard today that really felt helpful or resonated with you, struck a chord with you in some way. Trusting that that feeling can sometimes come when we hear on the outside what a part of us already knows to be true on the inside. And so allowing those truths to be enhanced within you so you feel a little bit more confidence to act on your own intuition. Trusting that you already know all it is you need to do. And there is not one person out there that can teach you more about yourself, your life, your passions, your purpose, than what quiet time with yourself teaches you. And so you never have to give that power away to anyone else. And if you ever come across people who try to convince you that they know you better than you, or they know what's best for you, you can let that be a cue for you to turn your awareness back inward and never give that power away. And also knowing that you always have the ability to reclaim that power if you have given it away. And so if it feels like something you'd like to do today, you can just let the pulse of your hands find each other. As you just feel this contact of your palms and fingers to one another. And allow your heart to lift toward your thumbs as your thumbs press back toward your heart. As you tune in once again to this steady rhythm of your own heartbeat. And allow yourself to take a final deep, full breath into the body, filling up to every corner and edge of you. And as you exhale, letting go of anything you're ready to let go of, as you allow the head to gently bow. As you take this moment to bow to the source of energy that allows all of our hearts to beat, whatever you believe that to be. And bowing to everyone else in this space who has listened and completed this practice right alongside you. And finally, bowing to yourself for choosing to show up today and taking the time out of your busy life for this pure act of self-love and self-care. And may this act continue to heal you through the rest of your days and nights. And may you bring the same love and understanding to everything you do and to everyone that you see. Thank you.